Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Pentiment. Last time we left off, we were hanging out over here, and we had explored most of town. I think we still got to explore the farms, and we gotta like go up here. But then basically we are done. Corsican agent of the Janice Bank of St. George, and Tassing desperately trying to manage the prosperous accounts of the disinterested Baltus Isenkopf. Alright, so, let's go over here and see you. I need to talk to Baltus specifically about, translating some Latin for me, yeah? And there's the first bit of the mural done. We are making good progress. Alrighty. Let's continue working, and hopefully we won't get killed by the thread puller. So, I don't really need to go into Werner's house, but we will also need to get Baltus and Natsu to help us carry Werner home. Ciao, Magdalene. Hello, Natsu. How are you? Ah, I am well. Winter's approaching quickly, no? What is it you say here, perched up pinching at your nose? You've caught on to our customs quickly. Yes, Baltus is a good teacher. He has explained many of your funny Bavarian sayings to me. Must admit they are rather charming, even if the language is a bit rough to my tongue. Will you be staying in Tassing long enough to learn more of our funny sayings? I should return to Genoa soon, but Baltus and I still have some business to conduct. It has taken longer than I anticipated to complete. His accounts are complex. Maybe forced to remain a few more weeks. Dio, who knows? Must be difficult for you to be so far from home for so long. Pray that you'll be able to return before winter sets in. Must be difficult for you to be so far from home for so long. Baltus has made me most welcome, so I'm in no particular rush. Only wish to return to Genoa before any heavy snowfall, otherwise my journey will take twice as long. I'll let you get back to work then. Grazie, Magdalene. Until later. Alright, what's up, Baltus? Hello, Baltus. Do you have a moment? Only one, I'm afraid. What can I do for you? Came across a book about the history of Tassing, and I was hoping you could help me read it. Oh no, not today. I'm far too busy for that at the moment. Natsu and I have our hands full preparing the Christmas ale, you see. Of course. Sorry to bother you. Not at all. Apologies I couldn't be of more help. What about helping Werner? Hello, Magdalene. What can I do for you? We did not have a lesson planned for today, did we? No, Baltus. This is about a different matter. I found Dr. Stoltz passed out drunk in the commons, sleeping in a ditch. Oh, I see. This is becoming an increasing problem, isn't it? I shall fetch Natsu, and we will carry him home safely. I thought you were busy! Thank you for letting me know, Magdalene. Yep. And that's it? That's it. Okay, well, we can get Werner out of the gutter, at least. So, are you actually back at home now, or... No, they didn't do it immediately. That makes sense. Okay. So, we have a few more characters that I can go check up with. So, I need some... If Baltus can't help me with the book... Matthew suggested that the poor Clarice may be preserved. Father Thomas is always talking about Tassing Saints. Might be able to tell me more about Tassing's history. Tessier, I want to get this done first. 2 copies. What I could read. I should ask around town for help translating to Latin. Sister Gertrude, Baltus, Dr. Stoltz, and even Father Thomas may be able to read it for me. Well, I can't get Stoltz to do it, because he's sitting in the gutter currently. So it has to be Gertrude or Father Thomas, and I'm leaning more towards Gertrude than anything else, so... Yeah, I probably could get Werner to help me if Werner wasn't a drunk asshole in this version of events, so... Alrighty. I'm gonna go down and check on the farms really quickly, I think. I don't know that anything is really gonna happen down here. It said I could have gotten, Jorg to help, carrying Dr. Stoltz, but, I don't know if that's needed anymore at this point. Okay, Veronica. Nothing really going on there. Okay. Get out of here. Hey, Jorg. Hello, Magdalene. Peter. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's much. I don't think there's much going on here. I will talk to everybody though. Hans? Hello, Magdalene. I talk to you a lot. Hello, Hans. Well, that's it. We get a cutscene, but that's it. Weird that it actually fades and shows me that, but you don't actually have anything to tell me. Weird, right? Very, very weird. Hey, Brigitte. Alright, so no real updates there. Well then, let's go talk... Like I said, I'm gonna go speak to Gertrude first. Gertrude's the one I'm most interested in talking to, for sure. Hello? You two are down here. You can check in on the Golden Hand, too. Hi, Mags. Sorry I can't talk for long right now. Hi, Killian. What's keeping you so busy? Ah, you know, it's almost December. Preparing for the festivities is hard work. Mom and Dad need my help. They're not as spry as they used to be. At least you have two parents. You know how that is. Dad's not as quick as he used to be, even when he's not bedridden. It's a good thing they have you helping out. I know how that is. Dad's not as quick as he used to be, even when he's not bedridden. Still no idea who attacked him. Is that what is that sound effect? Is that Xbox thing giving me an achievement or something? It doesn't sound like it, but I thought I had all the Xbox sound effects disabled. Still no idea who attacked him? No. He'll be fine though, right? Dr. Stoltz told me not to get my hopes up. Just because he's a doctor doesn't mean he knows everything. I'm sure you're taking good care of him, and I bet he can't wait to see that mural. How's the mural coming along anyway? One step at a time. Learning about the history of Tassing is a challenge. At least you can read well enough to learn more of the history. I'm still struggling a bit. Just keep learning, Killian. I will. I'm sorry, Magdalene. I really have to get back to work. Be well. Alrighty. Interesting little conversation with you, Hana. And there's no one out here. Oh! Hello? You two are new. Ah, hello. Are you one of the burgers? My man and I are in need of refreshments. There are 3 burgers. Nico, Hana, and Killian, and I'm not Hana. Yeah. There are 3 burgers. Nico, Hana, and Killian, and I'm not Hana. Ah, but you could be Nico or Killian in an elaborate disguise. Sounds far-fetched. The improbable is not the impossible, and though such incredulity may the accomplished deceiver succeed. I'm Magdalene Druckerin. Ah, from the, print shop we passed on the way into town. Yes, I'm running it for my father while he's recovering from an injury. Terribly sorry to hear that. I hope he has a swift recovery. Thank you. Not much business for a print shop at this time of year, is there? Nor for a land house. It looks like the travel is all dried up. How did you wind up here? You don't look like a merchant. Huh, no, I should think not. No, this was just a step on my way back to Würzburg from Padua. I'm Alexander. This is my partner, Kazimierz. We are musicians by trade, travelers by necessity. We just purchased a new instrument for Kazimierz in Padua. Their luthiers are extraordinary. We're heading back to Würzburg for the Christmas celebration. Quite an important competition there for the Meister singers. The weather turned rotten so quickly. The rain has been awful, and the roads through the passes have all been mud. Don't know if we'll be able to make it to the competition now. If the passes do close before we're able to move on, will they open up soon? I'm afraid not. Once the passes snowed in, you're going to be waiting a while. I was afraid you'd say that. Suppose I should plan for us to stay here through the winter? Sorry, Kaz. It's alright. Oh, he doesn't speak, you see. I do the talking for the both of us. He can write on his tablet when the need arises. Do the people here like music? Have you ever been to some place where people don't like music? I think it depends on the music. Yes, of course. Excellent. Then we will endeavor to entertain you and your neighbors with our songs. I look forward to hearing it. Thank you. Until then. Interesting. Kazimierz doesn't speak. Yes. Can't talk. I see. I'm Kazimierz, musician with Alexander. Magdalene Drucker and I live here in town. I take it you're not the singer? No, let's say, do you mind if I ask what happened to your voice? I'm guessing you just can't speak, and this isn't like... I mean, you're not a nun or something, so it's not an oath of silence, so... Mind if I ask what happened to your voice? Rather not. Alright, I won't take up any more of your time. Thanks. God bless you. Well, you seem cool. Yeah, it makes sense you wouldn't want to talk about it. Sorry I brought it up. I was just curious. But alright. What's up, Nico? You have anything for me? You do. Morning, Magdalene. Brings you to the Golden Hand. On my way to the Abbey. I thought it'd be helpful to explore the ruins for the mural. Lots of history to be uncovered there, no doubt. Mind yourself in that place, could collapse any day now. Don't worry, I'll watch my step. Sure you do, I'd hate to have to tell Klaus I saw you last if you don't return. Say, Magdalene, would you mind doing me a favor on your way back to town? Anna's birthday's coming up, and I asked Gret to make her something special. Gillian and I have our hands full here, so I was hoping you might pick it up. Of course, I'd be happy to help. Your credit to your mother, Magdalene, thank you. I'll have some of Baltus's fresh brew set aside for you when you get back. It's his best yet. I'll stop by the Albans on my way back from the Abbey. No, we'll stop straight away. I'll stop by the Albans straight away. Don't rush on my account. I appreciate it all the same. Be well, Magdalene. Till later. I mostly just want to do it now, Nico, so that I don't forget. So let's go ahead and take care of that, why don't we? And then we'll talk to Martha and Carl over there next. I'm guessing that's Martha possibly saying she's going to be joining the poor Claris. I don't know. Probably. Alright, let's get over here and hit up the bakery. They still haven't gotten Werner. Thought you two said you were going to be on it in a snap. God bless you, Magdalene, darling. And you as well, Gret. Nico sent me to fetch Hannah's birthday gift. Ah, of course, I have it right here. I'm rather happy with how it came out. One of my best, I think. Ulrich would have been proud. Always loved your pastries, so delicious. All the process needs is plenty of love and care put into it, and God's grace, and honey. Off you go then. Nico's waiting. Give them my best wishes. Until later. Alrighty, Central Town. Yep, Werner, still chilling over there. Alright, you have fun. Yeah, I do imagine I could have gotten Werner to possibly translate it for me had Werner not been a drunk. It is so interesting how much things change. It'll be so cool to see other people's playthroughs of this. Alrighty. Nico, I got your thing. Here you are. Good to see you, Magdalene. Were you able to stop by the Albans? I have Hannah's pastry here. Gret sends her best wishes. Perfect. Hannah will love this. Thank you, Magdalene. It's the little things, you know. Glad I could help. Hannah told me you asked my dad for advice once. No point denying it, I suppose. Your dad's a stoic one, but he has his wisdoms. You know, we haven't always been good to each other, me and Hannah. But after the revolt, things had to change. Try to find ways to show her I appreciate her now. The Golden Hand would fall down without her. And she knows it. I want her to know that I know it too. Kept you too long. Thank you again for the help, Magdalene. Till later, Nico. Well, it's good that you two are trying to work on your relationship. That's nice. I mean, Linhart's dead, so I guess you don't have to worry about, her shacking up with anybody else right now. Okay, so I just want to make sure I've done everything that I need to do in town. Gertrude, Baltus, Stoltz, Father Thomas. I can come back to Father Thomas if need be. And then Matthew suggested the poor Claris, so I gotta go over there. Father Thomas is always talking about the saints. Dad also suggested I talk to Elsa up at the mill. So yeah, we need to go up to the mill and talk to Else. Martha? Carl? It's still so beautiful here, Martha. One more moment. Alright, take your time. Oh, hello, Magdalene. Dad, look who it is. Morning, Mr. Struckern. Hello, Martha. Carl, how are you today? Our usual walk around town. November hasn't grown too cold yet. Dr. Stolch says Dad need to keep using his leg or the pain will get worse. And I'm getting old. Not so old you can sit around at home telling stories. Listen to your daughter, Carl. You're about the same age as my dad, aren't you? Hasn't he earned a rest? You're about the same age as my dad, aren't you? Yeah, Boss has always been too stubborn to grow old. Shame what happened to him. As if you're not stubborn too. No arguments for me there. Peter survives through sheer stubbornness. Given that the alternative is Werner, I'm glad I have something. Can't even find his ass with both hands. Dad. What? Anton would have made a better doctor than him. Anton, my poor boy. Kinda sad Florian didn't just become the town doctor over here. It's alright, Dad. I'm sorry, Carl. Not your fault, Magdalene, just a babe then. I can't... It's my fault that he died. It's not, Dad, you know it's not. Shouldn't have been with me that night, he shouldn't have... I was a fool. What happened? I know I was there, but all I remember is the flames. What a fire it was, the whole abbey engulfed. I was bleeding, Anton tried to drag me out of the fight. Then that godforsaken Landsknecht stepped between us. Hope he burns in hell. Mercenaries found throughout the Holy Roman Empire and service the Imperial Army. They are known for their colorful and flamboyant fashion, their ferocity, and their short lifespans. I want to say this was Samuel, because someone mentioned that Samuel was a mercenary, and that makes a lot of sense. And I am familiar with the term Landsknecht from, like, Civilization, so... Their colorful and flamboyant fashion, that certainly sounds like Samuel, so... I guess Samuel's the one that, did it. Can't even imagine what that was like. I still think of my mother every day. Nothing can make up for a loss like that. Pray I'll see him in death. Dad, it's not good for you to dwell on these memories. I know. Permit an old man his weaknesses. How old were you during the revolt, Martha? 7 or so. I didn't understand what was happening. Someone brought Dad home in the middle of the night. It was dark, confusing. They were screaming outside. Mom and a couple of the men who brought Dad in were trying to patch up the wound, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. She kept shouting, "Where's Anton? Where's Anton?" There was blood on the floor. Cried so much you threw up, we couldn't get you to stop. Couldn't understand where Anton had gone. Dad tried to explain, but... Martha, my dear, enough of that. I'm so sorry. How did you go on? Did I? I don't know. Some nights I think I am there still. The abbey is always burning. My Helena passed not long after. I was left alone with Martha to care for. Wait for him to continue. I had to keep going for Martha. And somehow my daughter grew into an old, wonderful woman despite it all. I suppose that was all Helena's doing. Dad. If I'm any good, it's because of you. Thank you for telling me about the night, Carl, Martha. Time doesn't heal, Magdalene, but it does dull the ache. It's time we continued with the walk, Dad. Yes, dear, I'm feeling much more alive now. Be well, you two. Oof, that was a depressing conversation, my god. Feel so sorry for them. Hey, Andreas! Magdalene. Hello, Magdalene. Yeah, let's go see Elsa, though. Hey, Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Anna. How are you? Well, keeping busy. There's always plenty to do around the house. How's the mural coming? Paul mentioned your progress is quite impressive. I'll have to thank him. That's high praise from a councilman. Making steady progress. Think I'll be finished just before the new year. Didn't realize the council cared so much, especially since I wasn't their first choice. I'm making steady progress. I think I'll be finished just before the new year. Well, wonderful. I'll have to bring Andreas and Ulrike sometime to see your progress. We won't get in your way, of course. I'm sure they'd love to learn about the process. You're all more than welcome. Watch your step, there's plaster everywhere. We've just mixed a new batch to keep the wall moist. It's hard to maintain the right texture when it's so cold out. No, I can imagine. I had a similar problem when I helped my mother in the bakery. Rolling dough in winter was such trouble. You had to throw out so many batches that wouldn't rise. Your discipline is admirable, Magdalene. You know, I was a real rascal back in the day. Skipped on working with my parents more times than I can count to steal stuff. So it wasn't Big Jorg who was the troublemaker? Oh no, Jorg has always been more hardworking than me. I was a thief and scoundrel. Started with cakes from my mother's table, still hot from the oven. Soon it was silverware, mugs, trinkets I found around town. Well, Ricky's little hat even once belonged to Andreas Maler, your father's friend. I stole it from his head. Yep. God, it's crazy that that's still being talked about in Andreas's hat. At least Andreas is still living on in some way. Of course, stealing is against the Lord's commandments. So my father would make me return everything if I hadn't eaten it already and marched me to church to pray. Father Thomas grew accustomed to seeing me more often than Sunday mornings. I guess you got tired of saying Ave Marias? That was part of it. I grew out of the habit over time. I think I started to see why my parents had such a devotion to the Lord. Stealing was my way of acting out. But when the trouble started in town, I realized that my thieving wasn't doing any good. Not to mention I saw what happened to Martin Bauer. I decided I'd rather honor my father and mother as God commands. Gives me grace with Andreas and Ulrike on the hard days, and with the rest of the town too. I think everyone can learn from your example. It's more charitable than some people in Tassing deserve. I think Ulrich would be proud. Thank you, Magdalene. That means more than you know. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure you have plenty of mural work to do. I'll see you later, Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. Bye-bye. Hey, Ulrike, what's up? Cute hat. And, yep. Just talk to you, else. Magdalene, dear, what brings you up the hill? Wanted to ask you some questions about your family, for the mural. Dad was telling me your family's been in Tassing for hundreds of years. Well, is this for the mural? It would be a pleasure to see the Muellers featured in the Rathaus. They've been a pillar of Tassing for generations. I'm afraid I only know a little bit about them. And much of that I've heard from others. Linhart didn't care to talk about the past. I meant your family. Your family, the one you were born to. Your family name was Kazimierz, wasn't it? Oh. Not a soul in town has asked me about my family in years. I was beginning to think my neighbors had forgotten us. Not surprised your father remembers the Kazimierz. He was sweet on my sister before he met your mother. I'm the last of us left now. You say it's Kazimierz, not Kazimierz. I've always been called Pavizel, as were my sisters and mother, and her mother before her. My grandmother told me the Kazimierz have lived in this area for hundreds of years. Perhaps even 1,000, though it seems impossible to imagine a time so long ago. The Kazimierz were pagans? Yes, the original Bavarian people, here even before the Romans. My grandfather said his grandfather told him the Kazimierz resettled the town after the Romans left. Built their new home right on the spot where they had been living when the Romans arrived. What a blessing St. Moritz brought your family to God. No. That's just a story. How do you know any of it's true? I heard it from my family. Do you think they would lie? I think they could misremember or forget or yes, lie. No, I really didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. No, I think you did, but it's alright. However true it may or may not be, it doesn't matter, Magda. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was me going... I wanted to go for one of my skills. I didn't want to go for the I'm glad they converted you route, so I chose the other one that leaned into my skill, whereas I should have just chosen the one that didn't lean into any skill at all. However true it may or may not be, it doesn't matter, Magda. It matters that I believe it, that it connects me to my ancestors. And I think if the ancient Kazimierz driven from their land only to find it again and become Christians, they feel nearer to me. Do you understand? No, I don't. No, we're not gonna go that route. I think so. It's like when my dad tells me stories about courting my mom. I don't remember her face, but when he tells me about her smile, I can almost recall it. Yes, it doesn't matter whether you really remember. When I sing my sister's favorite songs to Ricky, I may not know all the words anymore, but that's alright. Just as I may not know exactly how the Caviezel's resettled Tassing. What matters is that I feel close to her and them, even though they are so far from me now. This is a nice conversation. I'm sorry I said a dumb thing. That's what stories are for, Magda. Now go on, you've a mural to complete. Thank you, Else. You've given me much to consider. God bless you, Magdalene dear. Speaking with Else, Christian Tassing. Yeah. So I could lead into another even pagan route. I talked to Else about the history of her family. Said they were displaced from their lands by the Romans, but returned to the same spot as Christians after the Romans left. I think it might have been the same for many families in the centuries following Tassing's abandonment. Might be nice to commemorate the return of the local people in the mural. I think that would be cool. And they returned as Christians, so I'm sure people wouldn't have anything bad to say about that. Alrighty. Well, that's some interesting stuff we just got there. So... Alright, I don't think there would be a reason to go to the forest, but I might as well just go and check really quick on Smokey and Voxlav. Hey, you two. Nothing? Nothing? Okay. Smokey has no gossip for us or anything. Alrighty, back up the meadow. And we can go talk to Gertrude now. That seems like the smart thing to do. And we also need to talk to the poor Claris. We should talk to Sister Gertrude since she was a Benedictine nun at Kiersau before the poor Claris arrived. She'd be able to tell me about the convent's history for the mural. Yeah. Go check on the shrine too. Hey St. Moritz. How you doing? Doing good? Alright, bye. Alrighty. Now let's go into the convent. Hey Gertrude. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, sister. I have a favor to ask of you. Of course, Magdalene. I'll help however I can. I have a book, the Historia Tassiae, and I can't read it very well. Can you help me translate it? Oh, I'm afraid my Latin isn't good enough to translate something like that. Its grammar structures are far too complex. I'm sorry, Magdalene. That's alright, sister. I'll have to find another way. There was one more thing, if you don't mind. It's about the Rat House mural. Oh, did you need more paint? I believe I have enough galls stored away. No, thank you, sister. I have more than enough paint. I wanted to ask you about the history of Kiersau, actually. I'd like to include the Abbey's founding and the history of Tassing Saints to the Rat House mural. I read to Reverend Matthew, since he lived at the Abbey, but wanted to see the place firsthand. Ah, Brother Matthew became a reverend, did he? He was always suited to such a role. I don't suppose that's what you came up the hill for. You're curious about the saint's history, yes? Yes, I was hoping you could show me around the convent and tell me about its history. The poor Claris don't allow outsiders within the convent, even other women. Mother Francisca wouldn't like anyone coming in for such a worldly concern. Well, that makes my job difficult. Let me finish, Magdalene Druckern. However, Mother Francisca always welcomes those who are considering joining the order. If a young woman sincerely considered joining the convent, she may be allowed to enter and observe the sisters. Who knows what else she may discover while contemplating the holy life, Yes, I see. Well, I suppose exploring all my options can't hurt. I have always been drawn to your veil, sister. There's something about the fashion. I am not interested in joining the convent at all. Ah, yes, I see. Joining the convent will take some time. Would you like to go see Mother Francisca now? No, I have other things to do first. Very well. Come find me if you change your mind. God bless you, Magdalene. I want to stay as far away from the potential of joining the poor Claris as possible. I mean, I guess I could still say no after exploring it, but, you know, I don't want to get anywhere near it, quite frankly. Alright, well, we'll come back to that later then. Let's go speak to Father Thomas about translating the Historia for me. Although I still don't trust his ass. He's my only option, really. I tried Baltus, I tried Gertrude, Stoltz is a drunk, and yeah, Thomas is my only option. So, Father Thomas, if you would so kindly help me out, it would really make my day. Still don't trust your ass, though. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, Father Thomas. Do you have a moment? Of course, what can I help you with? I wanted to ask you about Tassing Saints. I'd like to represent them in the Roundhouse. Thrilled to hear it. The Saints will make a wonderful centerpiece for the murals. Misunderstand, Father. I may incorporate them, but there are other possibilities. Ah, then I will endeavor to convince you to include them. But you know there is one saint you're overlooking. Contemplate this. Why, the Blessed Virgin, of course, Mary! Many people forget that Mary is the greatest saint. And she visited one of the peasants here in Tassing centuries ago. The Virgin Mary appeared in Tassing? Why? Yes, she appeared to give a message. Centuries ago, a farmer in the fields behind us had 3 visions of Mary. In the first, she told him that she wanted him to tell the Bishop of Freising that she had appeared. The peasant traveled down to Freising, but the bishop would not see or hear him. Seems like a reasonable response, all things considered. Let's just keep listening. Peasants returned to Tassing and had another vision in the field. Virgin showed him a pattern, a labyrinth. Yes, over here. She told him to draw it on a sheet of birch bark and bring the drawing to the Bishop of Freising. Why didn't she just give him the labyrinth the first time? No, let's not interrupt. Keep listening. Bishop attempted to turn the peasant away, but he could see the drawing of the labyrinth in his hands. It was the same image that the bishop had seen in a dream 3 nights earlier. The same image, the same labyrinth that Andreas kept seeing. He met with a peasant who told him of the 2 apparitions he had seen here in Tassing. Bishop was moved by the peasant's story, and he came here to Tassing. The bishop came here? He did. It's the only time the bishop has ever come to Tassing. When the bishop came, Mary appeared to both of them. Interesting. We've seen an apparition as Andreas, and that has not come up again yet. We saw it once. She told the farmer that the town needed to build a church. She told the bishop to support the town. I had no idea that's where all this came from. The town needed to build this church. She told the bishop to support the town. Keep listening. So the bishop helped fund the creation of this church. People of Tassing have been using it ever since. You're not from Tassing. How did you hear the story? When was the painting made? I think if I include the saints in the mural, I'll place Our Lady among them. You're not from Tassing. How did you hear the story? True, I am not. People told me when I came. And the former priest told them when they were children, and so on. The priest and the flock have shared the responsibility of passing on the story over the centuries. Thank you for the story, Father Thomas. Have I convinced you to include the saints prominently in the mural? I'm still considering it. Well, if deliberation fails you, perhaps you'll find that prayer gives you greater clarity. God bless you in your work, Magdalene. God bless you, Father Thomas. Our Lady of the Labyrinth. Okay, I have a few options. Hello, Father Thomas. Can you spare a moment? Yes, of course, Magdalene. What is it? Well, I found this book, but I can't read the Latin very well. Could you help me translate it? The whole book? Oh dear, I can afford that much time away from my duties right now. The Christmas sermon is coming up, and I've already fallen behind on Advent preparations. Could a matter of weight, perhaps? I'd be happy to look it over after festivities. I suppose. Good. Okay, so we can't translate the Historia. About the history of Our Lady of the Labyrinth and how it came to be. I never realized there was a legend associated with it. I could paint Our Lady along with St. Moritz and St. Satia. That would be a nice way to honor all 3. Okay. I just accidentally hit my mic a little bit. Rita gave me... I was only able to read a little bit. The Latin is difficult and the book is in bad condition. From what I could read, the book talks about various monuments that were made to the Roman gods. Should ask around town for help translating the Latin. We tried Gertrude, we tried Baltus, we can't do Stoltz, and we can't do Father Thomas, so... And the poor Clarice may have preserved whatever was left in Kiersau after the fire. She talked to Sister Gertrude about visiting the convent and the abbey. Always talking about the saints. Also suggested I talk to Else. Talked with Else. Okay, so really all that's left to do is either explore the convent, which, Gertrude said would take some time, or I can just go check out the abbey. So we have a few things left to do. Interesting, interesting. I mean, it said the convent specifically would take some time, so I feel like I want to explore the abbey first. Oh, will it not give me the option? Oh, it's not gonna let me from here. Do I have to go down this way? I mean, I'm pretty sure exploring the abbey was an option, but maybe I had to talk to the poor Claris first? I guess so, because that's locked. Huh. Okay, so I guess we'll just stop here for today, and then we'll follow up with the poor Claris next time. Because, I guess I need, like, a guide through here? Let's see. Because it wouldn't let me just walk in there. Journal. I think I might have... I should talk to Sister Gertrude about visiting the convent and the abbey. So, yeah. Okay. Can I just talk to her again about visiting the abbey? God bless you, Magdalene. Would you like to go inside and meet with... Okay, yeah, no, so... I have other things to do first. So this is just the point of no return for the moment. Once I do this, time will probably progress, so I had to make sure I'd done everything up till now, and I believe I have. So, alright. I guess we're gonna go ahead and end this episode off here. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for some more.